It was D over O. Defense won the day, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Hayes.
Stop soft pedaling it. Seriously. Stop.
What are you talking about? I've said 4 words, maybe 5.
The story isn't that the defense won the day. The story is that 275 does not look good.
Okay, now listen. We have a lengthy show, and we can take a little time to let this thing marinate and bake and develop. And
you're just like cruising into the show.
And we can pull it out of the casserole dish in a second. But I'm just telling you, as a whole, as a matter of fact, as a whole, the defense has won the first 2 days, Leon. And I'm in the Matt camp right now. I'm not going to – all right, this is what practice is all about.
Thank you.
16 has struggled the first 2 days.
Yeah. Well, listen, I tried to tell Matt Hayes in the production meeting. He didn't want to hear, of course, the fact that 16 struggled. What I told him is in training camp, the tendency in training camp is that the defense usually emerges first and foremost, and the offense is usually pedaling in water or, getting their feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there's still no excuse when he told me the means of the parameters in which he threw the interceptions, then it became a little bit more concerning.
Well, let's put it this way. After the second one, our coach, Dave Campo, looked at me and was like, okay.
And if you wanted to add an exclamation point to it, Dewey picked him off.
So here, let me just explain the situation for everyone, okay, if you weren't there. They were going red zone, okay? It was team, red zone. It wasn't 7-on-7, it was team, okay?
Where we struggled. Okay.
Right, where this franchise has struggled mightily the last 2 years and really bad last year.
Facts.
Right. They ran the exact same play where he rolled to his left.
Mm-hmm.
So he's rolling to his left, all right? He's looking in the left corner of the end zone. He's not looking anywhere else in the field. He's looking right at the throw.
Yeah.
Both times he's looking at over-under coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Both times he makes the throw. Both time Dewey Winger just jumps up and grabs the interception. They're easy picks. Easy.
Yeah. And when you say easy, that's not an exaggeration. Matt and Coach are on one side of the goalpost. I'm all the way on the other side of the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
And as Dewey's just kind of running parallel with Trevor, he stepped in and just timed it perfectly. And like I said, I'm not dogging Dewey, but he's a backup. And in this situation, he made it look rather routine.
Dewey was playing his coverage is what he was doing. And
so
Trevor didn't see it.
So he picked him off twice. And just going back to one other thing, and you saw this yesterday, Leon, is that I'm not going to hammer anybody for having flaws right now coming out of the, whatever break.
Mm-hmm.
But the picks that he's thrown, he is zeroed in on his guy from the snap. So he threw it to Gabe Davis yesterday at the goal line. And Ronald Darby easily stepped in front of it.
Yeah.
I thought Darby, I talked to him earlier. I thought he had a pick today, too. He said, no, that wasn't me.
Well, here's the best thing for Trevor that's going to happen after practice. They're going to watch the film, and the coaches are going to critique them, and they're going to show them.
Are they?
Like you said,
Are they going to critique him?
I hope they critique them. Yes, of course they're going to critique him. Like they're his coach. Okay, how much money he makes? He has a coach.
Couple of days.
Because Ballou had Mike McCoy on, this was, a couple months ago, and, talk was, well, maybe not all those 60 turnovers were his fault.
Mm-hmm.
A majority, quote. So, look, at the end of the day, this team is going to live or die with him. If they're going to get to the playoffs, if they're going to be a team that can make a run in the playoffs, it's going to be because of Trevor Lawrence. If they're going to finish 7-10 or 6-11, it's going to be because he plays poorly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not – all we're telling you is what we're seeing in the first couple days.
Right.
And I know it's the first couple days, but it's his 4th season. You don't make throws like that. You're not in a situation where you're rolling out and there's only one area to look at, okay? Even if that's the play, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're rolling him out and he's cutting off the rest of the field. There's one throw to make, okay? How do you not see that under coverage coming?
Yeah.
Twice. Same play.
Yeah, I saw him throw one ball away today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. It could have been a situation where he could have thrown that ball away. The best decision would have been to throw the ball away, or is he trying to be a crowd?
No, because if he tried to throw he would have thrown it away. I think he didn't see the under coverage.
Okay, well, that's the issue then.
I mean, literally, Leon, he threw both throws, and Dewey just was right there. He just stood there and grabbed them.
And I do think what you do is you might
Props to Dewey, by the way.
Yeah,
Props to Dewey.
Exactly. By the way, he will be on Hacker After Dark tonight, and so Dewey will definitely be the star of that show since he had the 2 picks. But the biggest part of the first couple of days, and I want to pair it up with last year, we came away from a lot of practices last year saying Trevor ain't missing a thing. Ball hasn't touched the ground.
Right.
Ball hasn't touched the ground.
Very true.
Well, guess what? The biggest difference between last year and this year is an improved defense.
Yeah.
That defense right now is impressive.
Well, I mean, listen, that could be a good thing for the offense. To be quite honest with you, I'm trying to spin this the right way, Matt Hayes. Listen, I'm trying to spin it the right way because if the defense is stressing you, they're giving you underneath coverage and stuff that you've never seen before. Remember, the coordinators knew. All right, first of all, the coordinator blitzes. 56% of the time compared to like 2 years ago, 26. So you're going to see a lot. Maybe you see a lot more underneath coverage. Maybe you see a little bit more blitz package where the offense has got to get rid of the ball. I'm just trying to spin it the right way. I'm trying to stay optimistic in the offseason.
Hey, I've been saying all along, I think Trevor has a chance to be a great quarterback, and I still do. All I'm telling you is that's very disturbing to see. If it's one mistake, you're like, all right, what the heck's going on? And the second pick, the same play, the same throw, the same miss of the coverage. Mm-hmm. That, to me, I'm like, okay, what is going on here, man?
Well, let me tell you something else that's competitive, the coaching staffs, okay? Coaching staffs don't like to lose against each other or made look bad, all right? I mean, if history speaks well for me, I know I've been with the Steelers where their defense has gotten now you know what, and then the next day we say, okay, the offense coordinator comes and say, hey, listen, defense is gloating about what they're doing. Hey, we got to make a comeback. Right. So you hope because all the coaching staff watch the film together, and right now the defense is winning the last two practices. He's gloating. He's absolutely gloating.
Yeah.
And so the offensive coordinator wants to do something to kind of get him back in his seat.
If we're being real, nothing changed on the offensive side of the football from a coach or player. Let's make this the 10-10 take, RJ, because these are the things you guys got to be thinking about. It's early. You guys can clobbers if you want on the text line, but let's do this.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
Sonny's, you know what they do? They play good defense and they got great offense, okay? They guard against serving a bad meal. They make sure they deliver a great meal. All right, so you're talking slow smoked ribs, pork, chicken, turkey. Whenever you walk in, they're ready. And all those tremendous sides. Make sure if you're hungry, head there this afternoon on the way home, pick up dinner, or do lunch tomorrow at Sonny's all over the First Coast. So if nothing changed, and honestly, think about this, the defense coaching staff basically got run out. They took a look at a lot of other positions. They went out and signed a bunch of guys to come in and immediately provide experience, veteran leadership, and playmaking. And we can go down the line. We definitely have. But if you look at the offensive side, two major pieces, one in free agency, which was signed Mitch Morse, and one in the draft, which was draft Brian Thomas Jr. Those are the two main things they did. But other than that, everything else stayed the same. So when you come into training camp, after going through, let's not say this is the first time this has happened in the offseason, OTAs and mini camps and all that have taken place, the defense looks sharper. They look like they are on fire and ready to make plays. And I credit that side of the football. But that side has had a drastic amount of change, coordinator, a lot of free agents that are brought in compared to what looks like a very constant offense. That's the 10-10 take.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the defense has an uptick, and the offense seems to be a little bit more ho-hum. With the coaching staff. They figured out what they did last year is acceptable, and the defense is showing them that, listen, we're going to play with intensity, we're going to play with fire, we're going to play with aggression, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, maybe the last couple of days, the defense – their uptick, their energy, their get after it, it's kind of got the offense on its heels right now.
I'm standing back in the end zone like we're talking about, and I'm around a couple of the Jaguar defensive assistants. They're making notes, and they're obviously coaching, stepping in, but they ain't flipping and tripping. They're making their calls, and these guys look like they're responding pretty well. And you can talk, Matt, it was Darby, Dewey, it was Savage, Monteric. A lot of these guys have been mentioned as making plays. And I had the quick conversation with Ronald Darby earlier, and he said, man, that secondary room is active. There's a lot of guys getting after it. And then up front, still haven't seen Eric Armstead, so we don't know. Double RH, Roy Robertson Harris, we didn't see a lot, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm just interested to see when the pads go on, hits change everything. I say it all the time, but I do believe it. But both sides are going to need to fight to be as good as they possibly can this early in camp.
So, no way they're going to get better, bro. No way they're going to get better is they got to compete, both sides of the ball. I mean, if the defense is dominating the offense right now, the offense needs to respond. And if you're offensive coordinator, and I've been in these situations where the defense, when I was with the Steelers, they used to kick our butt in training camp. And guess what? Offensive coordinator come and say, okay, this is what we need to do. We're going to go after them with this, and that. So it's a competition. That's the only way you get better. The coaching staffs compete too as well because they want to see their units have success, rushing the passer, stopping the run, getting after the passer, intercepting the ball, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, and then the offensive side of the ball wants to score a touchdown, wants to run between the tackles, wants to get outside, run the screens and all that other kind of stuff. So as much as the players compete, the coaching staffs as well. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get better. Only way you get better each and every day.
The thing is, I'm not so sure the defense is playing that much better than the offense.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing.
I mean, C.J. Beathard made a great throw to Duvernay in the corner of the end zone in a red zone drill. A beautiful throw.
It was awesome.
Dropped it right in the bucket. Play of the day.
So it's a jag on jag is what you're saying.
No, I don't. No, I'm not really saying that. Although when the Bucs come to town, you're really going to figure out what's going on. There's no doubt that will be.
Well, let's see.
People will get exposed. There's no doubt about that. And I'm not saying Trevor's going to get exposed. I'm just saying that's when you're going to find out who's really having a good camp.
Okay.
Because we talk about it all the time. When you're practicing, you know this. You're in the NFL.
Yeah,
when you practice against yourself, it's
true. But you remember last year we went against Detroit and we whooped that tail.
Mm-hmm. And what good that do?
Well, Matt, you got to win.
See?
You got to win
negative.
the week, bro.
It's not negative. It's
A
not
win,
negative.
You got to
I'm
win
telling
the week, bro. You got to win the week.
Okay.
Go ahead.
A win is
Go
not
ahead.
a win, and a win is a loss.
All I'm saying is, I mean, it's very easy to just say, oh, the defense has got the better of them. It's the way it always is. Offense takes forever. Your quarterback's in his fourth season. You have an experienced wide receiver group out there. You might have a new guy with Duvernay. How long's he been in the league? 6 years? 5 years?
5.
All right, you got guys that have been in the league for a while, guys that know what to do. So the offense shouldn't be looking, quote unquote, not as good as the defense.
Yeah. Look, I do believe what happens in practice is to get you better, and you can't. Not everyone's going to come out looking perfect.
100% agree. 100%.
And I do go back to the idea that we turned our heads at every Calvin Ridley catch or Trevor throw last year, and we said, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." They are going to say, hey, Pete Prisco said they're going to score 500 points. I came in and just was July Joe all day. And so
I was going to say some of us did.
I want to see some stress, some fails, some improvements, some big steps forward. Like you're saying, you gotta feel a little bit of a sting in your performance, and then you just kind of figure out answers as to how to get better.
Yeah, I mean that's why you practice. And that's one of the reasons why early on in my career we didn't let media watch us practice because of the over-exaggeration of practice.
We do go moment by moment.
Let me tell you
exaggeration.
If you were at that practice, you'd have given me the same look Dave Campo gave me, okay?
Okay.
The exact same look. It would have been, wait a second. What
all right,
in
and so
the world?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Steph Curry during training camp misses jumpers. And I'm not calling Trevor Steph. I'm just saying he misses shots. That's why you go practice.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Man, stop babying him.
I'm not babying him.
He needs to get a little motivation.
I'm not. I'm
He's
not.
got said he's
I'm not
taking
going
receipts,
to. I'm not
man.
going to spank him after the second day of training camp.
Why not?
Yeah, it's too early. Too early.
All right.
Off the text line, as a lifelong Jags fan, I'm 41. I'll take a top 5D and a top 12 to 14 all day long.
And you go 8 and 9.
And
Congratulations.
Well, look, we can go and start thinking about all the good defenses that have definitely delivered, continually delivered championships. And we've seen number 1 Ds go up against number 1 Os, and how has it gone? How has it unfolded? The defense wins. And so this defense needs to be better along with this offense.
The Chiefs' defense last year, if it wasn't for their defense, Kansas City doesn't win those games that they win.
They made more plays. Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they made more plays.
You trying to tell me the Chiefs' defense last year?
They
played well. They played well.
The Chiefs' offense was.
All I'm telling you is, if you don't have Mahomes, you're not doing.
Well, yeah, but there was a lot of games that Mahomes and that wide receiving core didn't play as well, and that defense kept them in games.
If the Niners didn't have Purdy, they wouldn't be where they are.
No, well,
yeah, but
if the Lions didn't have Goff, they wouldn't be where they are.
True.
Well, no, they had a line in the run game.
They had the front.
Sure, they did. I agree with all that, but Goff's the reason they go.
I feel like there's just so many good pieces.
Lamar's the reason the Ravens go.
Well, that was a pretty good defense. That was a really killer running game. And so, yeah, the great quarterbacks do take your team to the top, but don't dismiss what Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, Nick. You can go on and on and on with the guys that were on that side of the ball. You go to the 49ers, you can do the exact same thing with Travarius and Fred Warner and obviously Bosa and all those guys. Those guys made plays.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.